12 years. That's how long I spent building this place in my head every single day, stuck in traffic or wrangling paperwork for the DOT. I pictured this mountain, this view, this exact silence. I used to think nothing could spoil it, not the county, not the weather, not even my own doubts. Turns out I was wrong. Because on move-in day, the very first person to greet me wasn't a neighbor bringing over cookies or a worn-out postman looking for the right box. Nope. It was a grinning woman in a starched green polo standing beside a gate that shouldn't have been there, announcing with a smile, "Welcome to the HOA." If I'd had any sense, I'd have left right then and there, but after everything I'd sacrificed, there was no way I was backing down. 12 years of busting my ass, government contracts, cheap motels, washing my work clothes in gas station sinks, all so I could pay for 6 acres of Georgia mountainside, in cash, no bank, no mortgage, no strings, and definitely no damn HOA. But there I was, steering a rented U-Haul packed with all my earthly possessions, tools, a generator, a mattress that still smelled like college. Every stick of furniture wrapped in blue blankets, and who do I see? 3 folks in matching polos, smack in the middle of the gravel road like a welcome committee from hell. One had a walkie-talkie, one had a clipboard, and the third, Karen, as I'd soon learn, had that look on her face that says she'd charge you for breathing if she could figure out the paperwork. "Good morning," she chirps, stepping right up to my window like I'm an Amazon delivery. "I'm Karen Hamilton, president of Chestnut Ridge Community Homeowners Association. Before you proceed, we need you to sign the new owner registration and the HOA agreement. Just a formality." She offered me a pen like she was handing out mints after church. I just blinked at her, floored. "I'm not in your HOA," I said flat as possible. "Oh, but you are now," she replied, all teeth. "The board passed a boundary amendment last month. All properties accessible from this road are now Chestnut Ridge jurisdiction." I followed her gesture, saw a brand new automatic barrier gate, solar panel, steel lockbox, shiny as a gun barrel, stretching right across the only way to my property. The same private road that was clearly marked as private use in the county plat, the same plat I'd studied like scripture before ever making an offer. I stepped out, heart pounding. "You can't block this road. That's my land. I've got the deed, the survey, a notarized affidavit from the previous owner. It's not in your HOA." Karen didn't blink. "This gate is for security. The amendment includes all lots past mile marker 1. Just sign and we'll issue your fob." I didn't move an inch. "Ma'am, if you think I'm signing away my property rights because you showed up with a clipboard, you're nuts." The guy with the walkie-talkie stepped forward, voice low. "If you try to bypass the gate, we'll call the sheriff for trespassing." I had to laugh. Trespassing on my own land. I snapped a few photos, gate sign, her smug little smile. Then I remembered an old service trail about 200 feet back. Nothing but weeds, a busted culvert, and a nasty slope. But I figured, hell, I didn't spend 12 years dreaming about this place just to let a fake queen with a clipboard block me out. I whipped the truck around, crunched over the brush, forded the little creek, baptizing my front tires in mud, and came out the other side, panting, box truck door open, sweating through my shirt. That night, lying in my sleeping bag on plywood, no lights, just animal noises and the wind in the trees, I didn't worry about the cold. I worried about Karen Hamilton's smile. By dawn, I had a lawyer, Matt Reyes, Atlanta ex-prosecutor, meaner than a badger and just as likely to bite. We'd already filed a complaint for unlawful obstruction and started prepping for civil interference. First stop, the county office. I had my deed, my survey, the closing date in March, and a letter from the previous owner stating clear as day my land was never and could never be subject to any HOA. The county clerk took one look and frowned. "Chestnut Ridge. They're 5 miles south. Shouldn't be anywhere near your parcel." I pointed out the gate. Matt requested the boundary amendment Karen claimed they'd passed. Clerk gave us a scanned, blurry PDF dated 2 months after I closed, but then I saw the worst of it, a digital signature from the previous owner dated after the sale. Matt swore. We called the seller on speaker, retired military Alabama, all gruff voice. "Hell no, I didn't sign anything. Sold it private for a reason. Didn't want to deal with the HOA." We had him. Forged document, fake signature, but still they'd blocked my road and Karen wasn't budging. Matt filed an injunction, but the hearing wasn't till Thursday. In the meantime, they dropped cut logs across my alternate access, fresh sap, still sticky like they wanted me to know just how far they'd go. I sent Matt photos. "They're escalating," I said. He agreed, but pointed out, "They're getting sloppy too." I started calling county zoning. Did anyone approve this boundary expansion? All I got was runaround and voicemails. Something stank. Wednesday night rain coming down hard. I parked my truck by the old trail, flashlight in one hand, 357 under the seat, sipping gas station coffee that tasted like regret. Around 3 a.m., headlights, black SUV at the gate. Karen. She just sat there, engine running, staring into the woods like she was waiting for something. Eventually, she drove off. That's when I realized this wasn't about neighborly protocols. It was about power. A land grab. And I was in the way. Court was cold bright, everything creaked and echoed. Karen showed up looking like she was going to a country club fundraiser, pearls blazer, the works. Matt tore them apart. My closing date, their fake amendment, the forged signature, and a signed affidavit from the seller. Then the photos, gate logs, the whole play. "This isn't a misunderstanding, Your Honor," Matt said. "This is a deliberate campaign to obstruct, harass, and force my client into an organization he has no legal obligation to join." Karen's lawyer tried to handwave it all as community integrity and historic usage, but the judge was having none of it. "Counselor, is this signature valid?" the judge asked. "That's under review." Wrong answer. The judge ordered the amendment struck, gave Karen 15 days to remove the gate, and issued an immediate injunction. Any more obstruction would be contempt. Karen nodded, but her smile said war. The sheriff came out with bolt cutters. No words, just a nod. Two sharp clangs and the gate swung open. Felt like my lungs finally unclenched. But relief. Short-lived. Next morning, the HOA blasted an email calling me a threat to the community, dangerous, even floated a rumor I had a criminal record. Never did. Neighbors I'd never met emailed asking if I really threatened people on the road. I knew then I hadn't just beaten Karen in court. I'd humiliated her, and she'd never let that go. At the feed store, an old-timer in line behind me asked, "You the one Chestnut Ridge is raising hell about?" "Depends on which kind of hell," I answered. He smirked. "Folks been scared of that HOA for years. You're just the first one who didn't roll over." Back home, I was nailing up no trespassing signs when I saw Karen, arms folded, glaring from her SUV. "This isn't over. We're redrawing the map." Then she peeled off tires, spinning. I slept even less that night. The next week, Matt and I went full detective. He pulled property transactions, I combed zoning records. Turns out over the past year, the HOA bought 2 key lots flanking the road, both bought cheap, both transferred through an LLC, registered to Karen's lawyer, Dobbins. We found one former owner, Mrs. Maroy, 91, sharp as a tack. Didn't want to sell, she told us, over tea, but they said I'd lose access. Threatened lawsuits, scared my husband. Matt called in a favor at the Georgia Department of Consumer Affairs. Meanwhile, I dug through Chestnut Ridge's website, found a meeting notice for a vote to adjust jurisdiction, dated before they blocked my road. I went to their office and asked for minutes. The receptionist handed over a redacted sheet that cited traffic equity. What the hell is traffic equity? I got the proof I needed from a neighbor I'd never met. Travis, old grading contractor, showed up one night with a 6-pack. "You Mullins heard you ain't bowing to the HOA." He slid over a contract. Chestnut Ridge had paid his company $78,000 for driveway stabilization on my road before even trying to absorb it. That company registered to Dobbins' brother-in-law. I made copies of everything and locked them in a fireproof box. 2 days later, I came home to find my side gate sporting a new keypad lock. Taped to my door was a laminated HOA notice, access denied, compliance pending registration. Underneath, a blinking surveillance camera logo, and all mounted clean as you please, definitely not by me. My hands shook as I took photos, video. I called Matt. "They went physical," I said. "Call the sheriff." Deputy Banks arrived, looked around, muttered, above my pay grade, but let me pull the camera's SD card. There it was. Footage of two men in HOA shirts, middle of the night, letting themselves in, installing the locks and gear, laughing like it was a prank. We pressed criminal charges, burglary, trespass, wiretapping, the works. The sheriff's office opened an investigation, and Matt fired off cease and desist to everyone, the HOA Dobbins, the fake LLCs. The next week was a blur, removing cameras, installing my own security. I wasn't scared, just tired. Tired of fighting for what I'd already paid for. Matt filed the mother of all lawsuits, 90 pages, interference, fraud, racketeering under Georgia RICO. We handed everything to the Department of Consumer Affairs. State investigators swarmed Chestnut Ridge, subpoenaed bank records, traced HOA dues straight into shell companies tied to Dobbins' family. Karen lawyered up, but the evidence snowballed. Then a whistleblower from inside the county leaked a memo Karen had funneled campaign donations to the zoning commissioner through her LLCs. That was the nail. Court round 2, packed gallery news cameras, even some big city attorneys sniffing around for class actions. Travis testified, so did Mrs. Maroy. The prosecutor played the porch footage when the guy in the green shirt flipped off my camera. The gallery laughed. Matt laid out every transfer, every fake contract, the timeline, the payoffs. Karen cracked on the stand, accused us of a witch hunt, called me a provocateur. The judge was unmoved. Jury deliberated 6 hours. Verdict, guilty. Karen got 9 years lifetime HOA ban. The association was dissolved, assets seized, Dobbins disbarred, the zoning commissioner gone. My road officially public easement can't be revoked or claimed by any HOA. 6 months on the mountain air feels different, not cleaner but freer. Neighbors wave now. Travis comes by with firewood refuses payment. Mrs. Maroy says she's not scared anymore. The old gate still lies upside down at the bottom of my driveway. Next to it, a hand-painted sign, private property, not part of any HOA. Trespassers will meet lawyers. Underneath, you don't belong here, you leave here. People laugh, but I mean it. This is my house, my land, my rules. If you want to take it, you better bring more than a clipboard and a bad signature. So here's my question to you. Where's the line between protecting a community and trampling someone's rights? When does neighborly concern turn into a land grab? And how far would you go to defend your home if you were me? Drop your take below. Ever fought an HOA or thought about it? Ever had someone try to claim what's yours? Let's hear it. I read every story. And trust me, out here we all learn karma finds its way home.